What is a G7? This video is going to try and explain what a G7 chord is in the simplest terms without getting into any of the other confusion of the other types of 7 chords. When we see a letter and a 7 next to it, just like we have here with G7, it automatically means we are not in the key of G. And that's the important thing when we first start learning about G7. G7 or A7 or D7 or any letter and 7 automatically means dominant 7. And dominant 7 means 5-7. The way we write 5-7 isn't with that number, we write it instead with a Roman numeral, 5-7. What that means is we need to figure out who is 1. If we know who 5 is, we know who 5 is here. I'll put a check here. All we need to do is count backward to find our home note, find our number 1, which is known as Roman numeral 1 tonic. So let's count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If G is our dominant, then C is our tonic, and let's confirm that here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now we know we are in the key of C. Let's jot down a C chord here. Here's our C chord, our tonic. What we are looking for is a G7, also known as our dominant 7. I'm going to start with what I know. I don't know the 7 yet, but I do know a G chord. So I'm going to draw a G triad, and I'm going to color in the name of my chord. The name of my chord is G. Here's my triad. What I need to add is 7. A lot of people make the mistake of saying, well, I can just count 7 up from C. Not the case. When a 7 is attached to any letter, we are counting 7 above that letter. Here's the name of our chord, G. I'm going to put a number 1 up here. I'm still in the key of C, but I'm just talking about the number of the chord. In a G chord, G is 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, and bingo, F is 7. So if I count up from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that puts my F right there. G is the name of my chord, and there is 7 steps above. G, B, D, and F. The purpose of a dominant 7, or G7 in this case, is always to get us back home. That's the function of a dominant 7 chord. So from here, we need to get our way back to C. If we play all 4 notes, it gets a little bit messy, it becomes really busy. So what we do is we get rid of the 5th. We get rid of the 5th of the chord. Here's our chord, G, B, D, F. D was the 5th. We are going to get rid of this one. I'm going to erase it here. What we're left with is G, B, I got rid of D, and there's F. So why, when we're playing a lead sheet, or we're playing chords in a book and we see it written like this, how come it's always written like this? This chord doesn't currently look very much like this chord. I'm going to get rid of this C for a second. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to color in the name of my chord. There's the name of my chord, G. I colored it in. And I'm going to take this G and I'm going to move it up an octave. I still have B and I still have F. And there it is. There's my G7. The reason why we have G7 in this order, we took G and we moved it up an octave, is because it makes it very easy to get to where we need, which is home, which is our tonic chord, C, E, G. here's my G7. G is the name of my chord. B is the third of the chord. I got rid of D, and here's F, which is the 7th of my chord. Here's my G7, and it's going to go easily back to C, my tonic, my 1.